Hold on, hold on, hold on. We gotta start that again. Grand Risings. We had a little issue this morning. Welcome, welcome, everyone. If you don't know who I am, my name is Miss Grace, and we're gonna start it off right. Let's go, let's go. Yes. Let's run that one more time, one more again, because today is Success Fest. Let's get it. Let's get it one more time. Let's go. If you're in the back, say, hey, God is good. Let's play this one more time. It's going to be a great broadcast. All right, let's get it. Grand Risings. Welcome, welcome to Grace in the Mornings. If you don't know who I am, my name is Miss Grace, and I'm here 3 days a week. I was about to put two fingers up. 3 days a week in my kitchen where we talk about politics, social issues, and everything above, okay? From a non-biased perspective. Hit the like button if you're holy and hood. I'm starting off good this morning. I'm in all smiles because we got some good news. You know, we have been calling for Bovino to get out of here. Not only get out of all of the cities that he has been basically demolishing, attacking, taking our rights from, acting like a Nazi king, whatever, but just get them out of town. But we do have some extra news today. I came upon an article now. I don't hear a lot of people talking about it, but I think Kristi Noem is going down. All right. I think she has been demoted. We do have some information related to that because we've been calling for the devil, the lady in red, to get out of here. But before we do that, what we're going to be talking about today also is highlighting the aftermath of Mr. Alex Petty. Okay. They're still out there fighting hard. We're going to watch a clip real quick, a little bit of status coup clip. This is like 20 hours ago he released it. And this is what's going on out there in Minneapolis. They're not stopping. Yeah, let's go. Thank you for being with us this morning. I had to turn it down because they they just so this is the ICE hotel where ICE is at, and they literally trying to run up in there. Okay. Shout out to Status Coop. What are they doing? They trying to barricade the door? Oh wow. It's so bad that they putting the vending machines by the door. So this is what's going on right now. They're still fighting for justice out there. And I'm gonna say this. I have been one of the primary people who have been saying everybody has to chill. You know, they want to, basically call insurrection on us. Or well, not insurrection, but I think they want to send us into martial law and suspend the elections. But I have to give it to the people because I'm wearing this today because it has been successful what you guys have been doing. I just hope you guys stay safe because it's a little bit too much as far as for me. But I will say this, everybody has their role in getting the job done. So shout out to all the people who's out there in Minneapolis handling their business. I wanted to highlight this. This clip came upon my feeds, and I found it very interesting. Mr. Alex Petty not only was an ICU nurse, and I would believe that he was fighting for his rights outside of ICE, the ICE situation. We're going to look at this particular clip because it looks like Alex was at a VA hospital in Chicago calling for the abolishment of ICE. Now, I don't know when this clip actually happened, but it had to happen before he passed away. So let's just watch this. This is a short clip someone uploaded. And we're going to just kind of follow up with this real quick. Give me 1 second.
For veterans All right, I'm here at the VA in Chicago where veterans
Midterm
and
election.
VA caregivers are speaking out. They're holding a press conference right now. We're going to be talking to a bunch of vets about why they are calling for the abolition of ICE. We're going to be talking to ICU nurses that are speaking out and recalling how they learned of the news and basically saying that it could have been them. So full interviews on my YouTube. That's coming soon. All right, I'm here at the
So I'm assuming that this is the guy who got unalive now. I'm gonna verify because I'm not trying to mix people up, but ICU nurses, VA Chicago. He was in a VA hospital out there in Minneapolis, and I do think he was moving with nurses, which is pretty credible, to move against ICE, which was a problem. Now, I'm not saying that led to his situation, but it seems like Mr. Alex was out there, and this is not going to stop. Now, I do believe like the nursing union is going to get involved and all of this stuff. So please look out for that. I'm going to keep you posted because nurses, we stick together no matter how much, we go through, we stick together, and nursing is very diverse. So that's why I can understand why me and myself, people like Alex and other nurses outside of ICU as well, was pushing for possibly the abolishment of, well, I'm not pushing for the abolishment of ICE, but pushing for the yielding of ICE. Now, let's move forward. We're going to just keep on going down this yellow brick road because we got a lot to talk about. Trump says Alex shouldn't have been carrying a gun. So we're going to talk about that too a little bit again. Remind people that we have the right to carry guns and also highlight, I think there's another case I want you guys to pay attention to. I have it on the roll for you guys. Long arm rifles is now banned. Okay, and I'm going to show you the actual channel that I follow. He has amazing commentary, nice, cool, calm, collective, to the point. So if you guys want to start tracking the gun laws that's going on too, you'll see the content creator that I follow. It's him and a few other guys, but he is kind of like my main guy. So let's watch what Trump got to say with his old crazy self. You know he won't say something stupid. You know I Trump would say something stupid.
Well, I haven't heard that, but certainly he shouldn't have been carrying a gun. But hey, look, bottom line, everybody in this room, we view that as a very unfortunate incident. Okay, everyone, unless
I always been for gun laws.
very, very
46.
unfortunate incident.
Let's
I
talk
don't
about
like
it.
that he had a gun. I don't like that he had two fully loaded magazines. That's a lot of bad stuff. And despite that, I say that's a very unfortunate.
Now, I'm going to question that he had two fully loaded magazines because you know how they lie, especially highlighting that he had a common gun, a 9mm. Thank you for asking, 46 MD. You said, are you for guns law now? I don't think you know me. I always been for right to carry as far as, making sure you're able to protect yourself. But I am very mindful. I have shared my story coming from the hood. Coming from Newark, I really didn't like guns because of all of the killings and things, and I got a little post-traumatic stress for some of the stuff I've been seeing and involved in. But when I came to Georgia, I moved here years ago. I noticed everybody had guns, but at the end of the day, what I did notice, and this is what made me say, okay, I see something different. The states that are restricting gun laws, they literally have high crime. They have people just wilding, and the criminals have more of the guns. And I think that that's a problem. But then when you come to the place like the South, you'll see people walking around with the guns on their side and like, hey, how you doing? Things like that. I started noticing like, well, these people a little bit friendly, calm, cool, collective, so why not? Why not let me have my form of protection? But I do think that comes from knowing that everybody around you have the right to carry. So you're going to kind of yield your behavior yourself, and criminals will too, knowing that, hey, this person may possibly have a gun. So that's why I think like the shootings and things are not high in states that actually are gun carry states. So I am a Second Amendment supporter, but I don't think that everybody should have the right to carry guns. Certain crimes you break, you can't carry guns, things like that. You get to a certain mental status that's documented for real, you can't carry guns, certain diagnoses. But that is really like something that we have to balance out because the way they're trying to, diagnose people and say they have psychosis sometimes when they don't. And, just basically also move to domestic terrorists. We have to keep these gun laws in mind, like right here in front of our face, especially if you have one. So I want people to be safe. Again, like I mentioned, the black gentleman who was petitioning for gun carrying and out here in Georgia got locked up by the feds simply because he loaded the pistol. He loaded it. And when he cocked it, it was towards a federal agent. Well, it was in the air. And literally years in jail. So that's some of the things that I want to kind of talk about. So we don't do that. The people who do carry guns and we do know our rights. But thank you for talking about that. I'll get to your comment in a second because I want to share something with you guys. So the basis of whether guns are legal to go to protest, it do depend on the state if it's open carry not, and also what are the state laws within where it restricts where you're going to be able to go, i.e. this case that I told you last week. Let me just remind you where it's going to be coming up, and I think it's coming up right now where they're going over the right to carry in someone else's home, the explicit right for that. So let me just give you that case one more time. This is Wolford versus Lopez. So look into that because this is how they're restricting our right to carry, because you can't do it in certain public places, and now they're trying to restrict it on a private note. So let's just keep that case in mind. So yes, that answered your question, Buki. Now let's just move forward. Do we have the right to carry guns? Let's get to it. Whether that is depending on the state and sometimes the municipality. They make certain laws. But this is what it is. While the Second Amendment protects the right to bear arms, at least 16 states prohibit concealing or open carry at protests. So if you're in these particular states, I'm not going to go into details, go look into it. And many restrict guns at government buildings, schools, or on Capitol grounds, in which Alex was not at any. Okay, so let's just keep that in mind. I say keeping details regarding guns at protests. Okay, so it says the law in many states, especially those with open carry laws, it is legal to bring firearms to public gatherings. So we kind of going over this because Trump said you shouldn't have brought a gun. And then you're going to have Mega over there talking about, yeah, you wasn't supposed to have a gun. Shut the hell up, Mega, and know the law. If you can come over here, don't come with your feelings. All right. Prohibitive locations. Again, many jurisdictions ban weapons in specified areas, government buildings, schools, airports, polling places. Know that. So don't go to no polling places. Somebody asked me what elections is. Midterms, y'all. Go look it up. My peoples keep me posted. I'm a Hebrew. I don't even participate with that, but I know what's going on. Go ahead, y'all. Y'all supposed to be knowing it's midterm elections. That's why they scared. The balance is gonna be tipped over. But it looks like at this point, Republicans over the shit themselves. So state restrictions around 16 states, as we told you, prohibit carrying firearms at demonstrations. So go look that up. Active legislation. Following January 6, 2021 Capitol incident, um, many states have reinforced laws to prohibit guns at or within certain distance of demonstrations. So that's what they do as well. And that's so funny. I'm not going to get to the left, but it's certain radius too. You can be like a 200 feet or whatever away from a school, or like let's say a school is here and is at the corner, and then you happen to be at the other corner, not the school corner, but the other corner, and get into something with a gun, you may face more penalty because within the feet that you are within that school. And these are the things, this is how they catch people. And they used to do this to the drug dealers, just to let y'all know before you get into this. They used to get them. They used to get them with more charges because they have like 300 feet within the school and they're around the corner at the store. All right, y'all, know these laws. So new details released in Alex Petty shooting aimed federal immigration leadership change. This is what actually led the change, allegedly. Let's get to it. I want y'all to watch this real quick because it may have been more than one officer who actually shot Mr. Petty. Let's get to it. Thank you for being here, guys. Thank you, thank you.
Homeland Security says 2 officers fired their weapons 5 seconds after an agent had yelled, Alex Petty had a gun. All comes as President Trump tries to turn down the temperature in Minneapolis, promising what he's calling a big investigation to Petty's shooting death.
I'm going to be watching over it. I want a very honorable and honest investigation. I have to see it myself.
And detailing why he made that dramatic shakeup following pressure over Preddy's death.
I do that all the time. I shake up teams.
Border Czar Tom Homan
Whatever.
served 5 presidents, including Democrats, taking over immigration enforcement in Minnesota, where he's tasked with working with Democratic Governor Tim Walz and Mayor Jacob Fry, who we met with today.
We have Tom Homan there now. We put him in there. He's great. And they met with the governor, the mayor, everybody else, and we're going to de-escalate a little bit.
While Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino.
Back foot and pussyfoot. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just telling back foot, pussy. We celebrating today. You hear Trump tone? You hear it toning down? He didn't sound like that after Miss Good death. He was talking domestic terrorists, all of this stuff. Again, you get this fool in there, and guess what? The lawsuits coming, the loss of control, the loss of dignity, and the loss of ICE, allegedly. And I don't want ICE to be abolished, but this is what it's leading to. It's like literally imploding in Trump's face right now.
Known for his aggressive immigration enforcement tactics, has been sent back to his previous job in California, according to 2 administration officials.
Bovino is very good, but he's a pretty out there kind of a guy, and in some cases that's good. Maybe it wasn't good here.
A senior administration official tells NBC News the president had grown increasingly disturbed by images of the violence taking place on the ground in Minneapolis.
Oh my God, he got a conscience?
Chaos unfolding on his watch. 3 administration officials also confirmed the president met with Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem and her top aide Corey Lewandowski last night at the White House.
Kristi Noem going to step down? No, I think she's doing a very good job. The border is totally secure.
But today, the president contradicted initial statements by his deputy chief of staff, Stephen Miller, who called Preddy an assassin.
He was acting as an assassin in Minneapolis.
Who is that?
Mr. Preddy, the deputy chief of staff.
The president also
He said no. Oh, snap. Because guess what, baby? Y'all may not like us. You may not care about us. But the nursing union, we handle it. People in the nursing union, oh, yeah. We have a lot of weight when it comes to government policies and things like that. Oh, he about to get it. What? Yes, yes. Shout out to the nursing leader in Jersey out there. My mentor. Listen. Yeah, he back foot and pussyfoot. And go ahead, Trump. Let us all, let every single nurse walk off right now. I'm going to talk about in my comment, talking about don't you be like him. He died protecting criminals. Baby, he was dying every day. Alex was dying every day in the ICU. That's what was happening to me. Giving my blood, sweat, and tears to take care of people who was probably criminals, not criminals, all types of shit. It wasn't new. It wasn't new. Yep. He was protecting whoever like he was supposed to. Get it right. Yeah. And you come here, have a heart. Remember, I'm a separatist and I separate from the nonsense. And I feel a little way because he was an ICU nurse and I identify with his perspective and what he had gone through. That's why that man was so skinny. Yeah, but people was making fun of him. He was skinny because he was running in that ICU, taking care of people like you. Any one of you coming there talking against him, his ass would have bowed down and took care of y'all. That's why Trump is backing down. Oh, excuse me. All right, I'm not going to listen to y'all bad comments about Mr. Alex because it does make me upset.
Initial statements criticized by several Republican lawmakers. Preddy was a domestic terrorist.
Okay, so this is what's going to get Noem ass out.
I haven't heard that, but certainly shouldn't have been carrying a gun. Very, very unfortunate incident. I don't like that he had a gun. I don't like that he had 2 fully loaded magazines. That's a lot of bad stuff.
DHS says Preddy came to protest federal agents armed with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun and 2 extra clips of ammunition. Videos show he never brandished it at officers. Gun rights groups, including the NRA, have strongly pushed back on the idea that legal gun owners cannot carry a firearm.
Oh my goodness. So now this is what's going on. So you have the nursing union and the NRA coming out basically speaking against this. Thank you. Thank you. Because they shape the law and they lobby like crazy, guys. So y'all already know that America is bought and paid by our gun manufacturers, okay? So let's get to the happy news. Bovino, I'm happy, y'all, because y'all know I can't stand him. Ain't nothing but the devil. Gotta go. Bovino demoted as border commander set to leave Minnesota. So this was yesterday, okay? And then 3 hours ago, I got update on Noem. Okay, we're gonna watch Dave. She's about to get up out of there too, dog. Let's go. I'm happy. I'm happy.
That the federal government might be pulling back on the ICE operations here in Minnesota.
There are some reports this morning as some agents and the man running the Operation Metro Surge are about to leave our state.
Saquon Life Force in Minneapolis with more on this shift coming from the federal government this morning.
Go.
I say. Hey, good morning to you. Lots of developments in this. As I broke for you in the 6 a.m. hour, sources are now confirming Greg Bovino, who has kind of been the face of these immigration operations, has now been demoted from his role as Border Patrol Commander at Large. We are also learning that he will be returning to his former job to, quote, lead the implementation of the Trump administration's immigration policy in California. It is worth noting here, as you mentioned, those federal agents are expected to leave Minnesota today. We just don't know how many federal agents and also whether ICE agents will be included in that departure. Right now, there are 3,000 agents here in Minnesota. 2,000 of them are with ICE and the other 1,000 are with Border Patrol. We do know, though, Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino, who's once again been the face of these immigration crackdowns, will also be leaving Minnesota today. This comes after the governor and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey talked to the president on the phone yesterday. Mayor Jacob Frey said yesterday in part, I spoke with President Trump this afternoon and appreciated the conversation. I expressed how much Minneapolis has benefited from our immigrant communities and was clear that my main ask is that Operation Metro Surge needs to end. The president agreed that the present situation cannot continue. Governor Walz also said in a tweet yesterday saying,
Mega, go talk to your president because he knows something wrong. Obviously, you guys don't. He can't take the heat. It's going to be coming from too many high-profile agencies and communities. You have the nurses, you have the NRA. What? Oh, yeah. Great.
in part, the president agreed to look into reducing the number of federal agents in Minnesota and to talk to DHS about ensuring the Minnesota BCA is able to conduct an independent investigation as would ordinarily be the case. Today, Border Czar Tom Homan will also be arriving here in Minnesota. Now, Homan comes with law enforcement experience, working with both Republicans and Democrats. In fact, he was named Associate Director of ICE by President Barack Obama back in 2013, Director of ICE by President Trump in 2017, and most recently, Border Czar, also named by the president in 2024 to be in charge of
He gonna call for reinforcements from people who work with Obama. You already know Trump in trouble. He like the Obama team came up. I'm gonna keep it real. They came in cleaning up for real. All right, so let's get into what the mayor of Chicago has to say because he's still a little skeptical because he like, dude, I don't trust Tom either. So let's see what he got to say because he's not too beat after
There
this.
is still yet the threat of this administration to send another Bovino. He was certainly a petty, cruel individual who will one day have to answer for his actions.
That's right.
I stand with the leadership of Minneapolis and Minnesota in calling for DHS agents to be pulled from the city and for full transparency and accountability for the killing of Nurse Alex Preddy. Without Bovino in charge, there is still yet the threat of this administration to send another Bovino.
Now, what I'm hoping is that Miss Maria Rodriguez, the one who dropped the charges, because I think she's scared, she go up there and bring them charges again, and they continue the excessive force against the Border Patrol. But we got a few updates, because there's a lot of stuff that happened. Oh, I wish I could tell you, but I'm going to tell y'all now already. Guess what? Trump getting sued by somebody from Trinidad related to Venezuela. Yup. Think it's a game. I told you he was shooting it. Everybody. I just had to hurry up and talk about it real quick, but we're going to talk about it tomorrow. Guys, this live won't be long. If you don't know, on Wednesdays, I do my Atlanta food giveaway. This week, we're going to be doing tacos and rice. And I want to go get some snacks in a little while. So I'll be getting off soon. But I had to come and shake a tail feather like somebody said, shake it fast. Yes, I am excited because we have been talking about this. I'm like, he needs to be fired. He needs to be fired. So this little fake demotion is basically his early retirement. But I want to get to this because they have been calling for Miss Noem to step down. Okay, so Kristi Noem have given humiliated new role by Trump after summit with the ICE. Hold on. Summit with the ICE over deadly Minnesota meltdown. So let's just watch. I'm gonna read this article to y'all. It's distracting me a little bit, y'all, because this is what I'm seeing. So just bear with me. When I start stumbling, it's just because my pop-up blockers be up there driving me crazy. All right. So Donald Trump reined in on Homeland Security Kristi Noem after the ICE White House meeting overseen by Chief of Staff Sue Wiles. Following another deadly shooting involving an immigrant agent in Minnesota. It says the international scrutiny of Noem intensifies. She gotta go. She gotta go. After the fatal shooting of 37-year-old ICU nurse Alice Petty in Minneapolis on Saturday, the incident happened, she characterized as an act of domestic terrorism, putting her at odds with Trump. Okay. Because again, the goal is to make everybody domestic terrorists and lock our asses up. The president, excuse my language, the president grilled Noem over her handling of initial response. This is according to this article. Once I get all the pop-up article off, I'll tell you who it is. The president grilled Noem over her handling an initial response to the shooting. During their late night meeting, reports say, Noem advisors and rumor love Corey. It says Noem's advisor and rumor lover, Corey. What is this? Longwatsky. Y'all know who this is? Was by her side. Oh my God. Okay. They talking about her little love affair. I'm like, who is Longwatsky? He's a Jew. Okay. By the end of the night, Noem was ordered to shift her focus away from the interior immigration enforcement operation and instead create a security plan for the south border. Noem, longtime rival White House co-czar Tom Homan, was ordered by Trump to take over the Minnesota crackdown. So that's telling you right now she's out. I'm giving you the mess. That's mess. I know she was beefing with this guy. I don't even know this guy, but let's finish this right here. This is why Noem is out. Despite the fury, Noem is expected to allegedly keep her job for now. Noem law enforcement allies on the ground, Border Control Commander Gregory Bovino was also withdrawn along with sources said many agents. Okay, so let's just get to this right here. We have this for you guys. I'm so excited, y'all. I'm messing up my live and everything. I'm so excited.
Following a shakeup in leadership. This comes as the Trump administration faces widespread criticism for its immigration crackdown in the state following two deadly shootings by federal immigration officers. Fox 13's Garrett Tenney has the story. No, President Trump standing firm, voicing support for Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem amid intense backlash for the shooting death of 37-year-old Alex Preddy by Border Patrol officers. It's the second deadly shooting by federal agents in Minnesota this month.
I think she's doing a very good job. The border is totally secure.
That backing comes as House and Senate Democrats call for Noem to resign or step down.
You know Trump a little slow, right? He talking about the border is totally secure, and through all this time, we haven't heard anything about the Border Patrol actually being at the border. If you guys have been with me for a while, y'all know I have been calling for a systematic plan to, execute so they can get the criminal, illegal migrants out of here. And one of the things was using the Border Patrol to actually be at the border. And again, then using the National Guard to help build the wall. But let's just keep going. Logical people ain't in charge here, but we're going to keep moving.
Destroying public confidence in DHS. Some even threatening impeachment proceedings over Noem, almost immediately calling Preddy a domestic terrorist following the shooting.
Y'all hear it? Oh, now you want an honorable and honest investigation?
Protests in Minnesota continue with more than 100 demonstrators gathering outside the governor's office today to demand the arrest of federal officers involved.
You got nurses, yo. We know how to get together, guys. That ain't no joke. We don't care what color the nurses is. We don't even know each other. Once we got a common bond, it's time. Don't get it messed up. They're a little weak to walk away from nursing. But baby, I know the nurse is gonna show up. Big baby. We always show up.
Amid the ongoing pressure, the White House announced a shakeup in leadership for Operation Metro Surge. Border Patrol Commander-at-Large Greg Bovino leaving Minneapolis, with Border Czar Tom Homan taking his place.
He's professional, and I think he will do a dramatically better job of leading us to the right kind of behavior.
All right, somebody in the audience says sound okay. Wait, no. It says this guy who was taking over took a $50,000 bribe on camera. Thank you, Starbound. That guy do look familiar to me, and you know what? I won't discredit that because if he coming from Obama and Clinton administration, baby, y'all know how I ain't gonna talk about it, but people die around them. Okay, and I'm just going to leave it like that. Right hand, left hand, same politics. Donald Trump demotes Kristi Noem and calls for her to go. This is Time News. So let's just watch this together, y'all, because this was 3 hours ago, and I was like, oh, snap, is this the truth? So let's watch a little bit of this because obviously it was a passive demotion by moving her off of this assignment and now focusing on a border that never was focused on. But let's go.
Just seen as quite a demotion because, of course, all eyes are on Minnesota. The US-Mexico border right now is very quiet. It's certainly not where the action is. So I think her removal speaks volumes. Now, President Trump has said he'll de-escalate a little bit in Minnesota. He says that this is not a pullback. It's a little bit of a change. It comes as the US president has pulled federal agents out of Minneapolis after the latest fatal shooting there. Melania Trump called for unity in the wake of the shooting of Alex Pretty in a rare intervention.
It says you can't throw someone in the bus when they have full immunity. Yes, they could throw themselves off of the bus. It ain't no full immunity. Man, baby, it's called pay how like you weigh. I love you, damaged ink, but babe, no, it ain't no full immunity. You lose that with certain behaviors. Yes, I'm an ICU nurse. I deal with peds right now. I have been in every sector, and I have talked about me working with gentlemen like Alex, and I felt really bad because despite what y'all think is I'm black or whatever, white ICU male nurses, they was the fucking best. I love them. They always treated me right. We used to just sit. It was a few different because, and I say that because I was a travel nurse. Very intelligent. Once they knew I knew what I was talking about, baby, they set their thing right next to me and just try to pick my brain. We even talked about everything. So it really touched my heart because out of every, like, if it was like people I resonated with, I do know that it was white ICU nurses who, in my last few years, I've been more able to be compatible with. So to see him out there and know that I am the one to protest, but I have learned not to be out there because he uses animals and do it a different way, it just hurt me. It just really hurt me. So back to Noem because basically, just gone. And then Pam Bondi said something dumb as well. So she's next. Pam Bondi is next. Watch. The pressure is on. He's losing his base, period. And he lost his mind already.
First Lady, she urged demonstrators in the city to protest in peace.
We need to unify. I'm calling for unity. I know my husband, the president, had a great call yesterday with the governor and the mayor.
Yes, you get to the lowest place in your house or in the middle if you're at a one level. Go into a bathtub. You're talking about biochemical. And that's all you could do. Stay away from the windows if you don't have any protective gear. That is all you really could do if they come down and they nuke us. That's what you want to know? Yes, I know protocol, big baby. You don't touch nothing. And then the aftermath is the worst. So you're going to have to lay low for at least 12 to 24 hours if we do have any radiation that drop on us. Stay low. Get into a place that's cement and concrete in the basement. That's the best advice if that's what you're asking, damage. Sorry to get off topic, but he asked me a protocol. Big baby, don't ask me because I get my A's on my test. Let's go.
And they're working together to make it peaceful. And
it's fine. I love questions. I know you're not
against
testing me. Whatever you want to do, I don't mind scrutiny. I've been under and around the worst. I've dealt with so many type of doctors, surgeons, bad attitudes, things like that. That's why I don't mind when people come here and just kind of get a little crazy, but we just ask for people to be respectful to each other. So no, I appreciate you getting in the comments. But let's stay on topic. I want to watch this real
the
quick.
violence. So if we protest in peace.
Well, the president held a 2-hour meeting with Kristi Noem, his Homeland Security Secretary, who is facing calls for her to be sacked. In a joint statement, House Democratic leaders have threatened to launch impeachment proceedings against Noem if she's not fired immediately. Well, let's get more on all of this with Harriet Alexander,
3 hours
who is
ago.
a U.S. correspondent. Good evening to you, Harriet.
Hello, Carol.
Really good to have you with us. Just tell us, first of all, what is the situation on the streets of Minneapolis? Because, of course, there was such consternation after the shooting of the local nurse, Alex Pretty. And President Trump has now pulled some of those federal ICE agents out.
Yes, that's right. So he says that he wants to de-escalate here, but he hasn't particularly said what that's going to mean in practice. He has been speaking to Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, and he's spoken to the mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Frey, and he seems to be sort of adopting something more of a conciliatory tone. He has sort of moved away slightly from calling Alex Pretty a domestic terrorist, which is what Kristi Noem immediately said. But Trump is in Iowa today, where he once again has been riling up the crowds. He said that the people who are protesting are paid agitators. He went on a rant against immigrants, and he said that those who are out in the streets, a lot of them are sickos. So even though on the one hand he's trying to calm things down by, taking Kristi Noem away from the scene and replacing her with Tom Homan, who's in charge of the Border Patrol, he's seen as a much more practical, calm figure than Noem and than Gregory Bovino, who's another Border Patrol agent who's been very visible there. So he's taking moves to do that, but tensions remain very, very high in Minneapolis, and there's no sign really yet of any significant come down on either side.
Tell us a bit more about what's happening with Kristi Noem, the Homeland Security Secretary, because she was very swift to come out, very strongly condemn Alex Pretty, the guy that was killed, and as she put it, Democrat leaders locally for provoking the violence. But there does now seem to be significant pressure on her.
Yes, that's right. She's actually now been reassigned to focus on the US-Mexico border after that meeting with Trump. So she's sort of had the Minnesota control taken away from her, which is seen as quite a demotion because, of course, all eyes are on Minnesota. The US-Mexico border right now is very quiet. It's certainly not where the action is. So I think her removal speaks volumes. The White House, of course, is saying that she still has the full support of the president. She's a very high-profile figure in this administration, and she's noted for her appearance, for being everywhere, for going into a prison in El Salvador to look at the roundups and deportations of migrants wearing very expensive watches in full hair and makeup. And
shut the hell up! She throwing blows on how that was staged. You gotta hear that? Shout out to her. Throw them low blows, because it was.
She's often on the scene looking incredibly glamorous, so that's got all the attention. But yes, she does seem to have fallen out of favor somewhat, but Trump is still sticking with her for now.
All right, because maybe she remind him of Melania because she about to go. So let's keep our eye out for that because Noem is officially gone. Okay, I'm making a prediction. Noem is officially gone. That is it. She is done. So Pam is so damn stupid. Bondi pulls a move so reckless it ends up exposing Trump in game and just crossed the line. You would swear puts her on the path to prison. Okay, so hours after federal immigration officers shot and killed the second U.S. citizen in Minneapolis, Attorney General Pam Bondi appeared focused on something else entirely. Proving her loyalty to President Trump and his administration, facing mountains of backlash and loss of control on ground. This is according to Atlanta Black Star. With Minnesota already in turmoil from the killing of 37-year-old Alex Petty, Bondi stepped into the chaos with a letter to the governor, Tim Walz, that seemed designed to project authority and reinforce Trump's hardline posture. A move that almost immediately raised alarms about whether she had just overplayed her hand at the worst possible moment, because Trump is trying to simmer down. That's why he had to jump on the phone with her. He's like, no, don't listen to her. It's just okay. Pam Bondi is next. This is the lady in black. She the one that wear black and known wear the red. So let's finish get that. Shout out to Atlanta Black Star for putting out this article. So in the letter, Bondi accused state and local leaders of fostering lawlessness by refusing to cooperate. Y'all remember we saw that statement, but then she wrote it in a letter too, to cooperate with the federal immigration enforcement, and warned that Minnesota could restore the rule of law by meeting a series of federal demands. It's broad. She's over. Among them, sharing unredacted voter registration record with the Department of Justice is what we call for. Election, exactly. Oh, and I do have an update. I'm not going to show y'all, but I'm going to give y'all an update. Shout out to my mod. Basically, people, if you're going to be doing mail-in ballots, make sure that your mail-in ballots is way before the due date, because if you put your mail in the mail today, it won't be stamped today. It will be stamped the day that it's processed, and you don't know when it's going to be processed. So that is issues for people who do legal documents through the mail and everything like that. So I don't know if people want to send their vote is by certified mail, because that's the only thing that I can really suggest to you guys, especially that we know the level of corruption, especially in Georgia out here. You know how, excuse me, they had to sue to get information, people who was actually on the voting board, to get information about registration and things in the process. Oh, it was bad out here. And they was burning mailboxes. So I think you guys may want to start early when it comes to midterm elections, whatever way it works in your area, as well as possibly do certified mail. So shout out to my mom for giving us that information. For the people who vote, this is something for you. So it says, allow the civil rights. So this is back to Ms. Bondi getting herself in trouble with Trump because Trump turned a little red in the White House. Allow the Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice to access voter rolls. This is what it said. Rolls to confirm that Minnesota voter registration practice complies with the federal law, Bondi wrote. So you take one incident and then you go pivot it into another, like, well, this is perfect timing to let's get you to give us this because we're still in control. No, you're not. Shout out to the protesters. I have to concede because I didn't like to see all of the roughness, but it definitely worked, okay? She demanded data on Medicaid, food stamps assistance program, things that they're not supposed to have. The repeal of statutory police policies, and to require states and local detention facilities to fully cooperate with the Immigration and Customs Office. Bondi framed the request as a common sense step to curb the fraud, protect public safety, and support federal agents operating in Minnesota. So now they're saying, did she overstep her boundaries? But you remember Trump said they could do what they want to do. Do what you need to do. It's all in their hands. They got this. Trump set them up. Plenty of times I have mentioned, I said, please don't fall for that, because Trump is doing 10 degrees of separation. And he's saying, this is in your court. This is, I put you in charge, handle it. Now we're going back. So this is what I want to show you guys as we move on. This again, because I talked about the Second Amendment thing a little bit early, but I wanted to bring this to your attention because I told you guys I was going to show you the guy who I actually watch. Armed Scholar. This is basically updating the last 24 to 48 hour permanent nationwide block on short barrel rifles and pistols. Let's go. Let's watch this. Hopefully it ain't a 9mm. Okay. Shout out to him. This is my buddy.
The Trump DOJ recently agreed to drop their Fifth Circuit appeal in a case called Mock, but the Trump DOJ and the ATF may still be trying to enforce their interpretation that all brace pistols are SBRs, and there's only currently one case right now that is trying to prevent that from going forward. So let's break down what is happening in this critical case. Now, before we jump into this video, if you guys want to support the channel, one of the best ways to do that is simply to subscribe. Also, you can click on the notification bell and turn on all notifications.
Bondi is not correct. You can't get Jason, you can't take people private information. You can't do that unless we sign the consent for this information to be given over, or they have an active case against you and it's subpoenaed by the court. You can't do that. If they do that, they can just take any information. That's not how it works, love. Bondi is absolutely wrong. Let's talk about the gun laws.
These videos once I release them. As I mentioned in the intro, in this video we have some important news in the battle against the ATF and the prior administration's regulations and new rulemaking that tried to make all brace pistols as SBRs. The Trump DOJ recently stipulated to the Fifth Circuit that they have agreed to drop the active appeal on the whole pistol brace issue, that is now moot, and that they would not enforce the prior administration's interpretation of brace pistols as SBRs, and essentially that they would let the prior nationwide vacature by Judge O'Connor, placing restrictions on the pistol brace rule, they would let that nationwide vacature go into place. The Trump DOJ decided to settle and dissolve the appeal in the Fifth Circuit, and now that decision by the DOJ to drop the mock lawsuit is impacting even more pistol brace cases. Recently, multiple pistol brace lawsuits that were launched in response to what the Biden administration did have been dropped and settled as moot. But now a third case filed by GOA in the state of Texas is essentially asking for the court there to not moot their challenge, to not dismiss it, but instead to allow it to go forward. And essentially the main crux of that and why they want it to continue is that they are worried about the ATF's continued enforcement of the pistol brace restrictions, and they have major concerns about not only what this administration could do going forward, but also what potentially new administrations, new presidents, new ATF organizations, what they could do on the whole pistol brace issue going forward, despite this nationwide vacature. Instead of dismissing the case, they asked for the court to issue a permanent injunction to block the ATF's current interpretation of the NFA that any brace pistol is an SBR under the text of the NFA. This is important because if granted, it would prevent any future administration or even the current ATF from going after pistol braces. And the court just issued an order allowing briefing to continue on that issue to gather further information on whether the pistol brace issue is actually moot, if it's done, or if a consideration needs to happen about a permanent injunction to protect this issue going forward. Now, you may recall that the pistol brace rule put in place by the Biden ATF originally started, by the Biden administration creating a new rule, a new comment, and a proposed rule and a final rule, and they wanted to regulate all brace pistols.
Let's stop right here because y'all probably don't understand what a brace pistol is. This is something that goes on the pistol to help you stabilize it. I'm going to leave this particular video in his channel for you guys because what they do is change little laws about little things, and that's how they get you. So if you have this particular brace on your pistol, not even if you use it or whatever, or in action of a crime, you may be found liable and have to be locked up, pay a penalty, this, that, and the third. I'm going to give y'all an example as we just go into just a few more things. I have about a half an hour before I get up out of here. But I was watching this case where this man, he's a hunter, and they was in North Carolina where it's illegal to hunt in this particular area at night. So they set him up. Basically, the law is if you see a deer at night, like you're not supposed to hunt. And if the law says if you put a light, and if you put a light on them, and something else. Yeah, I think if you stop and look through your binoculars, this was the light in the binoculars, that basically you can be charged with hunting at night. I'll probably put that video on there because it's very interesting. And what ended up happening is the cops tried to forfeiture this guy's car, and they found out he was a big content creator that hunted raccoons or whatever, coyotes, and they tried, and he just had a nice truck. This is to my Caucasian brothers, is just, I'm telling you, I be watching, I'm like, yo, this sucks. So he didn't put his strobe light on the decoy deer that they had out there, but he did stop and look through his binoculars. Make a long story short, the body cam was retrieved. The law was evaluated that it was highlighted that he was supposed to put a spotlight on it and look through the binoculars to be considered hunting at night. And they dropped the charges and they returned all the things that basically he was lost, because he would have forfeited everything, the truck, all of his hunting equipment, everything. It was part of their municipality laws and things like that. That's what I'm saying is important for us to know the little things. So how he won is because he did not put the strobe light, any light. He looked through the binoculars, but he did not have any lights on, and they caught the cops saying that several times. That's why it's important for us to watch this. So I had to just tell y'all about that. I was like, oh snap, they almost got him. And baby, he about to sue they ass off. I'll put at the bottom because he's a big hunter, content creator in, in y'all world. I don't know who this guy. So someone else got shot. Somebody else got shot, y'all. Man hospitalized after allegedly exchanging gunfire with Border Patrol agent in Arizona. Let me just get y'all here. Y'all sound like we in a hip hop video. We rapping. Bruce got shot. He ain't got shot. I'm dead serious. This is sad. This is someone else. I'm not making fun of it, but I gotta make a little bit light right now. A man was hospitalized after allegedly exchanging gunfire with Border Patrol. This happened January 27th. The last 24 hours this was posted with Border Patrol agent in Arizona on Tuesday, according to the Department of Homeland Security. Border Patrol agents attempt to stop and pick a pickup truck near the town of Avoca at 7:20 a.m. local time Tuesday, DHS said in a statement. The driver failed to yield to the agent and fled on foot. The department said that then fired at the air and marine operation helicopter and fired at USBP. So they said he was running. He started bucking shots in the air. Oh my goodness. I hope it's some cameras out there because you know they lying. They be lying. I'm sorry. Let me not be biased. They done lied so much that I just can't. They be making up movie type scenes. It always involve a car trying to run them over. I'm just saying. Border Patrol agents return fires. Striking the man. DHS said it's unclear how many times he was shot, and his condition wasn't immediately clear. DHS said the driver was treated at the scene and taken to the hospital. The FBI spokesman told CBS News that the agency is investigating. So the FBI is involved in this. Shout out to CBS News for giving us this update. Somebody else got shot in Arizona and the FBI is involved now. Allegedly assaulted. So they're saying that the FBI is saying that the assailant allegedly assaulted the federal officer near the town of Avoca. I'm saying it wrong. And that the person was taken into custody. The driver was, who was identified as a U.S. citizen. Oh my God. Was carrying at least one firearm. I'm sorry, I had to pause to the mega in the front and the back. Y'all keep saying it's migrants, and they not even suffering as much as the Americans right now. I'm just saying. So, U.S. citizen. He was a U.S. citizen and was carrying at least one firearm. That's why we're talking about these gun laws. And law enforcement, so as law enforcement says, CBS was told. Okay, so let's leave this. It says the driver allegedly has a history of human smuggling. Shut up, shut the front door. We talking about American citizens. It says the driver allegedly has a history of human smuggling, people who are in custody illegally, and was the target of the Border Patrol operations, the source said. It says specifically people who are in the country illegally. I do apologize. So they were smuggling people in and was the target of the Border Patrol operation. Again, I'm just trying to figure out why are they not going to people's houses, to the people houses. Not all our houses, but to the people houses. Why do they continue to do things on the road? And I need you guys to keep this in mind because they're using their phones and everything to take pictures of every single body they encounter, using the face recognition AI technology that they bought with their budget to start putting people in the database. I showed you the app. Did I show y'all the app? Oh my God, we ain't gonna talk about it today, but it's an app that they have. I think we showed you the app and it makes it, no, I got it to show y'all. It makes it very easy, not only for them to track somebody, their whereabouts. Oh, it's bad. It's bad. They could come up with a care plan, a rest plan to get you. When is the safest time to get you and process your papers in one button? They made everything automatic on an app for them. Like literally, they put your picture up and then it say where you was at the time of the crime. We're going to go over it, okay? So do U.S. citizens have to show their passport? Again, we know, or ID. We know we do not, but I just want to remind you guys because, again, people are confused. Maybe the mega in the front want to show their ID all the time, but we sure enough don't. So let's just get to this real quick, and then we're going to start to hone off. There is something else I want to show you. Hold on. There's a few more things I want to show y'all. Then I'm going to show you that ICE is in Jersey. That's where we go. ICE is in my hometown, y'all, and I think they're here in Atlanta. They're here. But the difference is that their trucks are marked out here. So when I see the truck, I'm going to take a picture. It actually has the Washington Department of Homeland Security logo on it. I'll show you it. Don't let me forget. I have one of them on my uncle's his mural. I'm gonna bring his mural so y'all can see because my uncle anniversary coming up the 2nd. But yeah, they're out here, but their trucks are labeled with this big old mural out here. So I'm gonna show you those and show you what they're doing in Jersey. Okay, so reports of U.S. citizens being stopped or even detained during recent immigration sweep have renewed concerns about the ICE agents and their ability to question and document U.S. citizens. And an investigation by Pro Bono, this is a newspaper, found that more than 170 U.S. citizens were detained during the ICE operation, with one saying they told the agent they were American and were still held while officers verified their identity. I told y'all, I told you they was going to do it. I'm sorry, I don't want to use that word. I asked God to give me another word because I keep having these 8 balls, but I knew they was going to do this. They take us and then they have to verify your identity. What if you had to go to work? What if you ain't had no babysitting? What if your kids was left at the daycare while they did this thing? We're here being affected. Okay? Okay, so let's just sum this up. These incidents have put the spotlight on what federal law actually requires during the encounter with ICE. The Star Telegram spoke with Ms. Pham, an immigration expert and a professor on law in Texas and AMA University, and she shed some light on it. So we'll talk about that later on, guys. But I do want to show y'all some videos. It's not funny, but it's funny because I want to see how Jersey going to handle this shit. Y'all know I'm a Jersey native. Oh my God, they are out there. This is the Los Angeles shooting, though. This was the one I was just telling you about where they shot the guy. This is it. This is the Los Angeles shooting. It won't have any value. But this is where I told you they just shot somebody in the last 24 hours. Okay, so let's get to Jersey real quick because this is funny. It's not funny, but it's funny. Look at Jersey. And I literally grew up here. I know exactly where this place is at, y'all. This is right down the street from where I grew up. You see the black people over there just looking, sitting there. Look how many ICE agents right here. My aunt used to live up that street. I got to reach out to my people in Jersey, so I want to give y'all a heads up. Y'all may be hearing more about Jersey. I want to see how they handle this because we don't play out there. We did bad during the COVID, but we don't play. Now, this is the last thing, y'all. This is funny. Hit the like button. This Jersey right here. Can y'all see my man? Shout out to my Boricuas out there in Jersey. Y'all know I love my Spanish rice. Look, they taking them on a circle. Shout out to Freehold, T-Net, Newark. So I just want to give y'all a heads up right now. They are in Jersey. They're definitely in Atlanta. We're going to see where else they go and what type of ruckus they bring because at the end of the day, people keep saying comply, comply. And you can't comply when somebody is beating. You can't comply when somebody is just literally just pulling you out the car, not even giving you a chance to react. You can't comply when someone gives you directions and then you go to do what they say and then somebody busts your window out. So with that being said, check me out at 3:30, guys, where we're gonna have our Atlanta food giveaway. It's gonna be amazing, y'all, where I take care of my displaced friends. Until then, hit the like button and thank you for being here. Let's go. Kristi Noem is out. Pam Bondi is gonna be out. Thank you, Janet, for being here. Have a great day, guys. See y'all at 3:30. Taco.